All right, so we're going to go through a practical example that occurs in weightlifting circles. And actually, if you're having any client do squats, which most should be doing, right, it's a very functional movement. But we're going to talk about the concept of the butt wink. Not a technical term. The more technical term for quote unquote butt wink is posterior pelvic tilt. Okay, so we'll just flip over to this blog, and I linked those on the slide. But basically, it's you're running out of hip flexion range of motion, and so your spine goes into posterior pelvic tilt. And if you need a refresher on pelvic lumbar motion, please review the pelvic lumbar motion video. All right, so let's get back to our slide. So we see as the person goes down, this is maintaining their spine in neutral on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, they lose range of motion, and so the only way to go lower is to rotate that pelvis posteriorly. Sometimes it can be due to hamstring length problems, just the way they're built in their hip joint. So there's many reasons, but you want to avoid it, whatever the reason may be. Because when you go into ButtWink, what is the load, injury, and potential cause on our in this activity? So when you go down and you go into posterior pelvic tilt, you're basically putting your spine in flexion. So you have a flexion and compression scenario because you have this heavy weight or just body weight. You know, it could still be a high compressive load. Then what would be the injury? Potentially a herniated disc, bulging disc, etc. And what might be the potential cause? Sometimes an adaptively short hamstring, so they can't, if they go through the range of motion, the hamstring starts pulling the ischial tuberosity and pushing it into posterior tilt, potentially an adaptively shortened glute max, and sometimes bony interactions. So I invite you to go look at these blogs. They're actually very good. Even they're not scientific blogs, but they talk about this concept and show you some very good videos.